I am Matt Smith for 5280 Sports Network. Thanks so much for tuning in. Well, Colorado does it. They are bowl eligible for the first time since 2007 as the Buffaloes march into Palo Alto, and not in a pretty game, but a gritty, gutty, smash-mouth football game that was determined by defense. The Buffs knock off the Cardinal. They advance to 6-2 overall, 4-1 in conference. At the moment in time, still remain tied atop the Pac-12 South with Utah. Utah in the middle of a hard-fought contest against UCLA, but Colorado with a very impressive performance today. This was one of those games where you did not get much out of your offense. It wasn't Sefo Liufau's sharpest game by any stretch of the imagination. The Buffs moved the ball down the field well, but they just couldn't punch it into the end zone. Phil Lindsay with another 100-yard rushing effort today. Back-to-back games for him with 100 yards rushing. This Colorado offense got out to a very fast start, but Stanford was ready for it. They did a very good job preparing for this Buffs high-tempo pace that they like to run. However, Colorado would continue to bounce back, showing a lot of resilience. And at the end of the game, despite a horrible effort on special teams, the Colorado Buffaloes don't have a kicker, and heading into the back half now of this season, that's a huge area of concern. But Chris Graham missing field goals, then Alex Kinney, the punter, brought in as their backup place kicker, with Davis Price out with mono, as reported by the Pac-12 networks. The Buffs are 1 for 4 from their field goal unit today. Any one of those scores would have changed things, but it didn't, and it allowed for a dramatic finish. Colorado getting the win 10-5. It was 10-3, and at the end of the game, the Buffs allow a safety so they can essentially run out the clock against this Stanford Cardinal team. A very impressive showing. The heart of this football team now is out for the country to see, and a lot of recognition will befall the Buffaloes this week. An extremely impressive performance by Sefo Liufau, although it was not his best game by any stretch of the imagination. Was not extremely sharp today, but it was one of those performances that just showed you how important this defense is to this football team. They're the #1 defense in the Pac-12, and they went out and they proved it again today. Tedrick Thompson, 2 interceptions for this football game, nearly had a third. Isaiah Oliver would ice it at the very end with an interception of his own, his first career pick, and the Buffaloes would extend their nation's longest streak of forcing a turnover to 21 games in their win over Stanford. I mean, the bottom line is Colorado just went on the road and beat the defending Pac-12 champs at home. This Colorado team has done something continually again this week that they had yet to do in the Pac-12, which is beat Stanford, let alone beat them on the road. They do that today, moved to 6-2, heading into their bye week. They need to get some guys healthy. Aaron Hagler at right tackle missed the game again today. I would like to see him back. Tim Lynott, who was a little bit banged up in that game and then returned to play, get him healthy. And #1, most important, is to get Philip Lindsay healthy. He went down in that game near the end of that second half with an ankle injury, would not return, but posted back-to-back 100-yard games this week and last week. Colorado is off and rolling. There's a ton of momentum around this program right now, and it's going to be a very crucial week of practice, rest, getting your body right. It's going to be another test for this senior-laden team of how well they prepare by what they do during the bye week. Excited to get into that and much, much more on the podcast on No Bull Just Buffs this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. For 5280 Sports Network, I'm Matt Smith.